everyone, welcome to episode 84, part 3 of Africa's premier sports video podcast, the Three Quarters Podcast. Also remember to jump onto the hashtag Road to Japan to support the Kenya Simbas as they are still looking to qualify for the Rugby World Cup in 2019 in Japan. I'm Demima Duffield.
And I'm Ngaro Kamuya.
So we're talking football transfer news now.
Yeah.
And I picked up on the fact that Fulham bought 11 players.
Yeah, but then 11 players of what quality?
Okay. And then Tottenham didn't buy any.
They haven't bought anyone
because they're building.
Because they're building the stadium. Yeah. They don't. You see, these are the problems clubs go through. Guys who were talking trash about Arsenal a few years ago now see what's happening. But anyway, the two transfers that have happened in the past week that are quite big is of course Thibaut Courtois, the Belgian goalkeeper, now moving from Chelsea to Real Madrid. I don't know why he went to Real Madrid, but look, that's his choice. I think he had a pretty decent career at Chelsea. But look, he's had a good career at Chelsea. He's won the league. So I think he's going to Real Madrid to get a chance to win the Champions League. Of course, you have to add that Thibaut Courtois is going back to Spain. He actually came from Atletico Madrid, then came to Chelsea. Now he's going back to Real Madrid, the other side of Madrid. Then there's Kepa Arrizabalaga, who's been signed by Chelsea to replace Thibaut Courtois. He's coming from Atletico Bilbao. Of course, for him it's a good move. I mean, from Atletico Bilbao to Chelsea, that's I'm a pandishwa bay. So yeah, those are the two big signings that have happened. Of course, there's still a lot of news. Real Madrid still following Eden Hazard. Chelsea not willing to release him. So yeah, there's gonna be a lot of activity in the next 2 weeks before the deadline on August 31st.
All right.
Yeah.
So now we look at EPL.
Yeah.
Finally,
it's back.
Guys were saying World Cup is over.
Yeah.
Now ladies will get back the remotes.
Yeah.
Nope.
Done deal.
Nope. So match day 1.
Yeah.
We had Man United. Play against Leicester City.
Yes.
Winning that game, Man United winning 2-1.
Yes.
Huddersfield lost to Chelsea.
Yes.
3-0.
Yes.
Watford beat Brighton 2-0.
Yeah.
Wolves and Everton drew 2-2.
Yes.
Newcastle lost to Tottenham 1-2
Yes.
or 2-1.
Yes.
Bournemouth beat Cardiff City 2-0, and Fulham lost to Crystal Palace 2-0.
And they signed 11 players. Anyway. I mean, they call it the greatest drama in the world. It's back, the English Premier League, the 2018-19 season. So yeah, I think our weekends now are busy. We can go to the bars and watch a few games.
Wow.
But yeah, the league kicked off on Friday. Man United beating Chelsea 2-1. Paul Pogba scoring that game. I have to admire Paul Pogba's determination just off the World Cup, and then you're getting yourself in, but also at the same time Andre Herrera is injured, Nemanja Matic is injured, so Paul Pogba had to be called early. So Man United showing a very solid performance and laying claim to them winning later on in the year. Chelsea, Huddersfield, that was a no-brainer. Of course, it was going to happen 3-0. Newcastle versus Tottenham Hotspurs. I expected Spurs to win 2-1. They still have class, quality, even they're unable to sign. So yeah, those are the few games I want to pick up, because I think those are the guys who are going to be gunning for the top 6 positions at the end of the season.
Yep.
Yeah.
So match day 2 preview. We have Cardiff City versus Newcastle, West Ham versus Bournemouth, Everton versus Southampton, Manchester City versus Huddersfield, Burnley FC versus Watford, Crystal Palace versus Liverpool. We've got Tottenham versus Fulham, Leicester City versus Wolves, Chelsea versus Arsenal, Man City versus I've gone through all of that.
Yes.
So which ones do you think are the ones to watch, and how do you think they'll go?
Chelsea versus Arsenal is a big one. I'd like to see what Unai Emery has done at Arsenal in the short period he's been in charge. Of course, on the back of, by the time this episode drops, we'll know the results between Arsenal and Manchester City, and by then we'll be able to know what kind of Arsenal team is going to come out. But it definitely is going to be a cracker. I mean, a London derby is always a cracker, and against Chelsea, it's a good one. It's going to be a good game. How do I think it's going to turn out on the day? It's too early for me to make any pragmatic bets, because I don't know how the teams are going to play.
Yeah.
But Look, I'm always Arsenal, man. So I'm going to say Arsenal are going to win.
Die hard.
Yeah.
Die hard.
Oh, yeah. Loyal Ghana supporter. Yeah, so
all right.
Yeah.
So we move on to the bonus segment.
Yeah.
Where nominated MP Honorable Gideon Katera tabled a motion to the National Assembly for the construction of a national rugby stadium and high performance center. Now this motion was actually passed.
Yes.
Just recently, on the 8th of August. It should be the Kenya Rugby Union proposed that it should be along Gong Road, near the Jamhuri Showgrounds, rather.
Yes.
And there'll be two others, one in Mombasa and one in Eldoret, but primarily for athletics.
Yes.
Rugby here and there, but for athletics. What do you think of this? I think this is definitely a good move. I think, it's about time.
Yes.
Because, because when you look at where games are hosted at the Kenya Rugby Union, it's the way the game is growing, you're not going to be able to host that many, more people rather, in the future. And we're hoping to get masses of people coming in to watch the game. So you should have somewhere that is a proper facility, for one, not that excuse of the gym we have in the corner.
Yes.
When it started out, yes, it was pretty okay, but we need to move on from that. So we need a proper place where, rugby players know that this is home. This, and you've got everything that you actually need there. So what do you think of this?
Like you said, first, it's late. This should have happened a long time ago. The most unfortunate thing, I think, in Kenya is we don't take sports seriously. We look at sports as a pastime. We don't look at the fact that sports can actually employ people and sports can, generate businesses. I always think about, like, for example, if a club in England is moving their stadiums, they have to present a plan to the local council on how they intend to substitute the revenue that the businesses around are going to make, So that's how this, that's the most unfortunate thing in Kenya. I don't think that they take it seriously, but it's good to see that this is being discussed in Parliament. And when he tabled the motion, he was basically saying that rugby has brought a lot of joy to the country. It's grown in popularity. Our team's ambassadors outside there, and it's unfortunate that we don't have a rugby stadium. My thinking is that there's, that land, just as you're turning off to Jamhuri, that land where
there's a lot of football.
Exactly. Because I know at some point, maybe 4 or 5 years ago, the government had actually proposed to give that land to the Kenya Rugby Union, only for some people in the Kenya Rugby Union to mess it up. But I think that's what they're going to get. Now, that's one thing. Implementation is another thing. Execution is another thing. Are we going to be dealing with the bureaucracy, with the red tape of getting all these things approved, with the money, for the money to be released?
Well, apparently, there were funds set aside. Okay, well, if there's land set aside, I will assume there are funds set aside for this, by the government. And that was like Uhuru Kenyatta himself said. So yes, there's land set aside for this, and it had been in the plans. So I'm hoping that will all be there. But then we also know that, along the way, there are people who will want to eat. So that is what delays everything and delays the whole process.
And if that ends up being the case, then you're looking at that stadium being constructed in 5 years, 5-6 years. So what are you going to do? But if you ask me, I think the best way to go about this would have been a public-private partnership. Have one of the corporate organizations come in, corporate organization, Sport Pesa, for example. Kenya Airways can't do it anymore. Safaricom, for example, come in, fund the whole project, get it signed off by Treasury, because Treasury are the only guys who can approve the PPPs. Get it approved by Treasury, bring the stadium up, run it for 2, 3, 4, 5 years, and then you can hand it back to government, or you can give the Kenya, and that will be where the Kenya Rugby, union offices will be hosted. We're tired of this back and forth between Kenya Rugby Union and Kenya Harlequins every time. Kenya Cup final being hosted at KCB. We're tired of all this nonsense. So it's time that it happened. I just hope that there's not going to be, bureaucracy, red tape. There's going to be some professionalism in the way they run this thing, and therefore we can have our stadium up ASAP. All in all, it's a good move, and I want to thank, Honorable Gideon Katera for what they're doing. What I also like is that, rugby is growing in popularity. It's the second most popular sport in the country. You can even see it's attracting now the political bigwigs. Just over the weekend, former Prime Minister Raila Odinga was there. Nairobi Senator Johnson Sakaja is a permanent fixture at the Kenya Games. So it's a growing sport, and it's attracting a lot of people. And like you say, with the numbers we are seeing at these international games, we can no longer go to.
No, we can't.
We can no longer go to RFE. So yeah, it's a good move, and I just hope it can be done quick steps. I hope it can be finished very quickly.
Yep.
Yeah.
I hope they hear us.
Yeah, I hope they hear us.
Guys, what do you think of this move? Yeah. I'd like to think what people think about this initiative, basically, and the fact that it's actually happening.
Yes.
Like, did we see this coming,
True.
or did we think it was never gonna happen?
True.
Remember, you can tell us by finding us on social media. That is by following us on Instagram, liking our page on Facebook, and subscribing to our YouTube channel. I'm Demima Duffield.
And I'm Narakamwe.
See you in episode 85.
Yeah,
85 next week.